morning, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I'm here with my friend and co host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. On Fridays, we like to get started with talking about tech and all the different things that have happened through the week. So we're going to get this party started. We like to start off with this week in tech history, and we'll be talking about that. Fran, what's happening over in the clubhouse? We want to give a shout out to everyone listening in the clubhouse, for those of you watching live and on the replay. We hope you enjoy the conversation today and join in. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat, and we'll do everything we can to get back to you if we don't have the answer right away. So, with that, we're going to get started. Hi, welcome to the conversation.
Hey,
What's
good
going
morning.
on, Fran, today and this week in tech history?
Hey, Carlos. There's things happening in tech history, and then we got soon to be tech history as well. So let's just find out what is going on.
Mhm.
um, yeah, I'm just going to start here. The first internet only bank
Okay.
was February 22nd, 1999, the first internet bank of Indiana opens, becoming the first full service bank accessible only through the internet.
Mm, okay. Was that the? I think the first one I remember was Orange. Which
I don't know, it's first internet bank of Indiana.
Indiana? Okay.
And okay, which is not, Indiana is not known as tech capital of the world.
No.
So, okay.
And North Carolina is supposed to be the center of banking for the U.S. So that's interesting that it started in Indiana.
Okay, so um, the first presidential radio address was February 22nd, 1924, and it was delivered by Calvin Coolidge. The broadcast from the White House, the talk is carried on 5 stations with an estimated 5 million listeners.
Mm,
Um,
all
okay.
righty.
Okay, everybody's going to love this one. The first telephone book is published. February February 21st, 1878. The first telephone book is issued in New Haven, Connecticut by the New Haven Telephone Company. It lists 21 names, and we probably got at least twice that many in our phone today. 21 names. So could it really be a book, or was it a sheet?
It was probably more like a small pamphlet
Mm.
or a sheet of paper.
21 names. I'm like, wow. February 23rd, 1455. Yes, I said 1455. While maybe not exactly accurate, February 23rd, 1455 is generally accepted as the date that the Gutenberg Bible was first published. This was the first book on record to be printed on movable type. Until that point, books were copied by hand.
Hmm. Wow. Yeah, the Gutenberg Press. Carlos says he has 5 phones and 4,000 people in his contacts on his phone.
He had like a 5 phones.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
And Mark says it's the only mildly progressive thing that can ever be associated with Indiana. Okay. All right. All right, Mark. Oh.
Okay, so now I'm gonna got a couple of more, and then I will move on. Radio gets controlled February 23rd, 1927. The Radio Act of 1927 is signed into law. The act creates the Federal Radio Communication Commission, the Federal Radio Communication Commission, FRC, which will later be replaced by the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC. Ironically, the act claims to recognize broadcasters' right to free speech, yet the Federal Radio Commission solely controls allocation of licensings, frequencies, transmitter power, and broadcasting hours.
Okay. All righty, Daddy.
February 23rd, 2005, discovery of the first mobile phone virus, Cabir, CABIR, is announced. Specifically, Cabir is a worm which infects phones running the Symbian OS. Whenever an infected phone is affected, the message Caribe, Caribe, is displayed. Infected phones also attempts to spread virus through Bluetooth signals.
Wow.
Okay, so that was on a Nokia phone, and okay. That is also one of the reasons why when they tell you to update your
Devices.
your device, please update the device. They're not trying to just make you do stuff. The first phone and TV satellite relays, February 24th, 1962. The first satellite telephone and television relays are established through the communications satellite Echo 1. The satellite was basically a big metallic balloon that simply bounced microwaves off its surface. Simple but effective.
Okay.
And that could be what's the thing that we are being shot down over Detroit area. Maybe that is why, even though it is a balloon of sorts, it's still
effective.
Right. And so, therefore, the U.S. is shooting things down.
Well, the other concern is, air traffic. That's a real issue.
Okay, so I have a game, or I'm going to ask which of these stories are true, and I need everybody to respond. Okay, so 3 of these stories are true. 1 of them is not. Can you determine which story is not? Okay. First story. Google is reportedly asking, and no cheating by going to look it up. Okay. Google is reportedly asking some employees to share desks as the company downsizes. That's one story. Second story. Certain new Mercedes-Benz models will have TikTok available via their in-car touchscreens. Third story. Funding for space startups has surged in the U.S. amid the potential presence of alien UFOs. Fourth story. A sci-fi magazine had to shut down submissions after it was flooded with AI-generated stories. So is it story number 1? Which one is not true? Story number 1, story number 2, story number 3, or number 4?
Is not true?
Is not true.
Okay. We're going to put the number in the chat.
The story that is not true. So the first story was Google is asking some employees to share desks. Story number 1. Story number 2, Mercedes-Benz will have TikTok available in their in-car touchscreens. Number 3, funding for space startups has surged in the U.S. amid the potential presence of alien UFOs. And then story 4, a sci-fi magazine had to shut down submissions after it was flooded with AI-generated stories. I don't have any music to play for you, but...
Okay. Well, let's see if I can find a little music over here.
So anybody got any idea?
I do, but I don't want to say till everybody gets a chance to respond.
So 4 stories. Which one is not true? And you can't use your device to go look it up. Google asking employees to share their desks. That's number one. Certain Mercedes Benz will have TikTok available on the in car touchscreen. Funding for space startups has surged in the US amid potential presence of alien UFOs. And then number four, a sci fi magazine had to shut down submissions after it was flooded with AI generated stories. Okay, anybody have answers? I don't see any number one, two, three, four in the chat.
Okay, I'm going to put my number in the chat.
Okay, Terry. TJ, what do you think?
The last one, I guess.
Okay. Anybody else want to take a guess? Come on. All right, so here's the deal. Google is reportedly asking some employees to share desk at company as
Carlos
it's
says
down.
five.
Carlos, there was no number five, dude. Come on. But Google is asking
Yeah, they
them.
are.
I don't pay unless there are cash prizes. Who knew, Lord? And it is true that Mercedes Benz will have TikTok available in their in their car.
I thought they were doing YouTube. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, okay. And the sci-fi magazine, it was a sci-fi magazine that had to shut down after it was flooded with AI generated stories. So they couldn't take submission. You know, they were refusing submissions. And so it's number three. Funding for space startups has surged in the U.S. amid the potential presence of alien UFOs.
All right.
That is not a true story. All the other stories are true.
Well, that is comforting, but
but you know, because we've been shooting stuff down here lately, like what
exactly
is happening? And there was another story that I read, and then I will be done. It was I thought it was really interesting. Let me see. Looking ahead, there was somebody was doing something, and I was like, "Wow, that is funny." All right, I'll have to. I don't want to hold you guys up. Speakers,
okay.
House follow up. What about that? Going fishing. Anyway, I thought it was a really good story. Here's the story. TJ, you're going to like this. TikTok accuses the EU of keeping it in the dark over staff phone bans. I said, what? So it's okay for you guys to go and just, spy on us, but we got to tell you when the EU has to tell you when they decide to ban. And this was in Brussels. TikTok has accused the European Commission on Friday of failing to consult it over a decision to ban the Chinese short video sharing app from staff phones on cybersecurity grounds. A move subsequently followed by another top EU body. The app, which is owned by Chinese firm ByteDance, is facing growing scrutiny from Western authorities over concerns that China's government could use it to harvest people's data. Beijing has regularly denied having any such intentions. The EU executive and the EU Council, which brings together representatives of the member states to set policy priorities, said on Thursday staff will also be required to remove TikTok from personal mobile devices that have access to corporate services. And TikTok is a little upset about that.
Oh.
Because they said TikTok, which has, and you heard it here from TJ earlier, TikTok, which has in the past said that the data on its service cannot be accessed by Beijing, said it had not been told or contacted by either institution ahead of their decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'm like,
Sound
what?
like a me.
So, and
Wow. Morning, Dr. Tachi.
so we
Wow.
are really operating under a cloud, and the lack of transparency and the lack of due process. Quite frankly, one would expect, some sort of engagement on this matter. And this is Caroline Greer, TikTok's
Mhm.
Director of Public Policy and Government Relations. And this is what she told Reuters. Okay,
Hmm.
that's all I got. That's just weird to me.
Well, it's quite a bit.
I mean, it's okay for y'all to go steal stuff or whatever, but and not tell us. But now we're supposed to tell you when we decided to ban
We
you.
have to report in.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
Okay.
all. Okay, thought I'd do a little something different for this week in tech history.
That was fun.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, so Dr. Tachi, I'm not sure if you are in the room on the other side. It is open. I'm still trying to understand TikTok's lounge,
Their
house, something.
houses.
Okay, whatever. I'm done.
Okay. Well, in honor of Black History Week, maybe we'll just call them plantations. But I'm going to talk about. uh, I want to talk a little bit about some successful Black entrepreneurs from history in honor of Black History Week. So
Yeah.
let me share my screen,
And Carlos said, I need to be able to go live on TikTok. Hmm.
and I hope you guys can see this guy right here.
Yes.
Okay, this person that you're looking at right now is Paul Cuffey, and he was a successful 18th century sea captain and businessman. His all black crews served the Atlantic coast and sailed to Europe and Africa after the American Revolution. He helped the British effort to resettle freed slaves. They're always talking about how we're not ambitious and we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, et cetera, et cetera. This guy, he looks a little ominous. It's like, oh, Stephen Smith. But I guess when you've been through what Stephen's been through, you look a little different. Smith grew up as an indentured servant in Pennsylvania, which is where I hail from. From a young age, he was assigned to work in the lumber yards, and his wealth stemmed from his, what do you call it, extensive lumber business. After buying his freedom for, are you ready for this? For $50 at the age of 21, he continued to work in the lumber yards until establishing his own lumber business in 1822. So he had a lumber business in 1822. And he also was dealing coal because, they sold coal door to door at that time for heating purposes. By the 1850s, Smith had grossed $100,000 in annual sales. By 1857, he was worth $500,000, approximately 13.5 million today. At, on top of being a businessman, Smith was a minister, served as chairman of the Black Abolitionist Organization in Columbia, uh, Pennsylvania. Mm, who else do I want to talk about? Oh yeah, this guy. I want to talk about a guy by the name of. Let's stop sharing and just come over here. I want to talk about a guy by the name of Robert Gordon. He was born a slave, but Gordon eventually purchased his freedom in 1846. In 1847, he invested, and I don't know where he got this money from, $15,000 in a Cincinnati coal yard and employed bookkeepers and laborers. Now, here's the deal. I
Hmm.
thought this was really interesting because, anyway, Listen to this story. The white coal dealers in Cincinnati, in their attempt to price Gordon out of the market, sold their coal below market rates. Gordon employed mulattoes to purchase the cheaper coal, and eventually ended up selling the supply at a higher price after the white coal dealers had little left in their reserves. At the time of his death, 1884, he left an estate worth $200,000, nearly $5 million in today's standards.
Wow.
I just thought these were exciting stories because we don't hear these stories. Um, they're buried somewhere in history. And I think it's really important to share these stories with our children to let them know, we weren't complacent. We weren't just sitting around waiting for people to give us something, the stories that they tell about us. So I was excited to hear about these entrepreneurs. And there are many more stories, and I'll share some of them throughout the month. But I found these really and they really infused me with energy. We got some comments over here, guys. Can someone?
Yeah, Mark said, "Don't talk to Stephen before he has had his coffee."
Yes, exactly.
And then Mark says, "We don't hear these stories, and you will never hear them if you live in Florida."
Oh my
We
goodness,
Wow.
need to hear these
we
stories.
do need to hear these stories. Um, and so I have one more story that I want to share with you about young entrepreneurs. And I hope that you guys will afford me maybe 3, 4 more minutes. Is that okay?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. And run this story it's from a news agency. It's talking about, well, I'll just let the story tell itself.
Clothes. The secondhand clothing market is growing 11 times faster than traditional retail. That's according to the analytics company Global Data. Researchers estimate over the next 3 years, Americans will double what they shell out for secondhand clothes. Spending set to jump from $36 billion last year to more than $75 billion in 2025. CNBC's Andrea Day spoke with young entrepreneurs who are turning old clothes into big money.
The only reason I even got into any of this is because I had no money in college and I just wanted to go to class and the coolest stuff.
For Tommy DeSegli, it was all about looking cool in school on a budget.
I would go to Goodwill, Salvation Army, flea markets, all the above, to just try to scrape together any cool clothes.
A friend saw one of his shirts and wanted to buy it. And next thing Tommy knew, he was setting up shop in his college dorm room.
I had $0, so I was happy to have $5 in my pocket.
That $5 grew fast after a friend introduced him to an NBA player with a love for vintage tees.
He wound up shopping and buying a ton of stuff. And I was like, wow, I could really do this.
DeSegli is now known as Tommy McBuckets, with a growing list of VIP customers.
This is the garage where I'm storing my inventory. We stopped counting at like 2,000 shirts.
He now buys in bulk from vintage wholesalers.
I got this Backstreet Boys shirt. This goes for like 180 to 200 bucks.
And he's selling on platforms like Instagram, eBay, and Depop. If you don't know Depop, it's so big, Etsy bought it for $1.6 billion last year. It has a virtual army of 2 million active sellers. 90% of its users are under the age of 26.
Oops, I did it again. Britney Spears.
And he's come a long way from selling $5 tees.
We sold it was 1,000 plus for a Snoop Dogg shirt. I'm sure this whole rack is going to be gone in like a day.
When I saw this money coming in, I realized, I could actually live off of the money I'm making just off of these clothes out of my closet.
Like Tommy, Sydney Bonet also started out small, just trying to clean out her closet.
I had a really big shopping addiction, so I had a lot of clothing.
She listed it all on Depop and within 2 weeks sold out.
I sold 84 items.
She banked $1,600 and a business was born.
Being a reseller is my full-time job.
She's now scouring yard sales and secondhand stores for her collection.
The way I know something will sell is if I like it, I know somebody else out there is going to like it.
Like this NASCAR jacket, she flipped for a $600 profit.
I've never seen money like that before.
enough to buy this school bus she's converting into a retail store on wheels.
I'm excited to go across the country with my shop.
And Chef, one of the big benefits to this secondhand shopping trend, giving an old t-shirt a second or even a third life is also good for the environment.
Mark has, okay, we got a couple of comments. Carlos says, is Florida still part of America? And then Mark says, when I was a hungry actor in college, I did the thrift store shopping, and I haven't done it since. Perhaps he should. Okay, because you know, thrift stores used to have that stigma to it. You know, if you had this, okay, that is all over. And Mark said a retail store on wheels or retail store on wheels is brilliant.
Yes, I thought that was just really exciting to know that she's going to go from a storage locker. Her ambition is to be mobile, and I think that's brilliant. So I wanted to share those stories with you guys.
Those are very inspiring as well, because what's the block? Seriously, what's the block? Especially if you got crap in your closet.
Okay. And you know we all do, girl. Stop. We got stuff in there with tags on it.
This is Gen Z leading the way. And actually I'm looking because I saw hold on a second. I shared something with somebody about the creator economy. That it's going to be $100 billion industry creator economy. So these young Gen Z's creator economy. So this is these are the things that they're making besides, being an influencer on Instagram and TikTok. They're doing actual entrepreneurial business stuff like this.
And the vintage tees are a thing, and Gary Vee had talked about this a long time ago. He said, why aren't you going to the garage sales and going and buying stuff that that you can turn around and flip that?
He's been talking about that for years.
Yes.
It's been maybe 5 years or so that he was saying that the young people, because he gets a lot of he has a lot of young male followers, and they're like, because he was talking about business and starting a business and da. So these young people were coming to him saying, well, I don't have any money. Like he said, well, you can flip stuff, make $100, and $100 can give you access to a website, and you can off to the races. So I think he's shared a lot of people that listen to his advice. And I think one guy was on one of his videos. He said he started flipping, doing stuff, started a business. Now he has a house. He's married with kids, and all because he watched the video about flipping things.
Right. And the flipping things is a thing.
Yeah.
Carlos has
getting people stuff that people don't want, that is still in used good condition and still saleable.
Right. Carlos is asking the question, should she make her bus electric?
Eventually, probably so.
Yeah.
Just she's going across the country.
Carlos says, I have a bunch of old soda cans. Think I can resell it? They are used. And it just depends on
how
is there
old
a market for it? Is there a market for it?
Yeah, and which cans are they? Because some cans, like some colas or whatever sodas are no longer a thing. Is it an old Pepsi can from back in the day? It just depends.
Is it a discontinued can from
Listen, there is and I found this was a while back. A guy that made a website about hot sauce, different kinds of hot sauce from different countries, and he has a following in the community, and they have like a event, and he gets sponsors, and all because he loves talking about hot sauce.
There you go.
It's doable.
It really, there is nothing that you cannot do. Okay, if your mind can achieve it, you can do this. And they did the two people that Terry talked about today. They didn't take no for an answer. They were like, okay.
See, the thing is,
I think they were just pleasantly surprised. I think the story here is try it. And if it works for $5, it'll work for 50. And if it works for 50, it'll work for 100, et
And
cetera, et
it's not just Gen Z. This is for if you're 60, 80,
cetera.
whatever. You gotta have the passion for it. Gen Z just happens to have the passion for it. Because we
Mhm.
have the tools. I talk about this all the time. You got tools to do. You can start business right now, this second. You can start a business, but you have to have a passion, you have to have dedication, and you have to be consistent.
Yep.
You
Mark,
have to know that it's doable.
correct. Mark says, side note, why aren't there mobile hairstylists?
They
There are
are.
mobile dog groomers. It would make a killing. Think of how much we would have made during the pandemic.
There are. There's
There are.
mobile hairstylists. I've seen a couple stories actually before the pandemic.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
That they make up and hair and you wanna, they come to your house in a van.
Yes, I've had a mobile stylist
Yeah,
before.
they have that.
Mhm.
They have that, Mark. But good point. But they have it.
And Carlos says, have you noticed how expensive ripped jeans are? Wannabe vintage jeans. And they're not vintage. They cut them holes in there, trying to make them look vintage, and they're not.
Mhm.
Boy, what would we give for some Jordache jeans right now?
Exactly. That's what I was just thinking. I got a pair of old Levi's that I bought from like
Hang on to them. Mm-hmm.
some place here. I forgot years ago, and I still have them. And if I pull them out now and wear them, oh, I'm vintage. I'm this man. I spent like maybe $5-10 on those things, but the price of jeans is outrageous. What are they like? $600, $300, $600 or something? Crazy.
And my kids used to make money distressing people's jeans when they were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They paid them to distress the jeans, bleach the jeans, give it whatever the trending look was.
Carlos says, I have lots of vintage underwear making my Etsy page now. Very used. Okay, we got jokes in the house.
I know.
And then Mark says, I've always wanted to take the Lucy advice 5-cent stand idea and have a setup in a booth on the street where I give people advice, but for more than 5 cents.
Well, you know what? I would have an introductory price of 5 cents with a little Lucy on the side, and then
and I could see that life strategies, and put
5 cents, 5 minutes, introductory price only.
Right.
5 minutes.
Or $5, 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people would come and stop
out of curiosity,
ask, just to, you know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? Yesterday I was watching a talk show, and they had this girl on the air who started a blog about dating in LA. And it got so big that, she ended up on the talk show. So I'm saying to you, why not a booth about dating advice? That should blow up.
Right. And, because some people will come and talk to you, maybe because they may not would have gone online or whatever, but they're walking by. I'm like, let me ask him a question.
You might be able to retire in a couple of weeks. Start answering questions.
Just and answering people's questions about particular things. That was good, though.
People stop for fortune tells. Okay, that's right.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. So all you need is a booth and a chair, and take and be able to take Cash App or Venmo or something.
And a good sign. You'd be surprised.
It'll work if we believe it. I know that sounds very
because everybody said, believe, if you believe it, you can achieve. We've got all kind of sayings, but they're all true. Like I said, if it's doable, you can do it. It's just that the older you get, the more you're set in your way of I don't want to get out of my comfort zone. And a lot of this, you have to get out of your comfort zone with we're talking about generative AI tools, ChatGPT, Dolly, and it's like you have to learn, but some people don't want to do that.
That's why Miss Cleo was making money. Because they believe that if you call Miss Cleo, you was going and she was going to say something to help you or whatever. They set that whole system up, and people were calling their number. Really, and they wouldn't have been advertising if it wasn't working.
What?
Just
I don't
saying.
know. All I know is that people want answers, and hey, and they want what Mark offers, which are strategies.
Right.
Right. And Carlos said, I'm starting to sell gas masks in New York City since we are now surrounded by marijuana food trucks. The smell is crazy. May offer vintage for styling.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a lot of smells going on in New York, and one of the new ones is the marijuana smell. That's like, okay.
Okay, so are they allowed to do this in public places, evidently? No restrictions?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Because the city, okay, you know they got to pay the city fee for their truck, right? So the city's like...
Right.
No, I'm talking about so people are just lighting up at the truck. Is that correct? Is that what I hear you saying?
No, marijuana food trucks. You can buy, I guess you can sample the...
Infused with stuff.
No, this is a food truck that sells marijuana. So apparently they're lighting up.
Wow. I can walk down the street and people are just smoking marijuana. There's not cops going stop.
No, and it happens. Okay, like I was in a grocery store. These people were not smoking it, but you would swear they were smoking it 2 aisles over. I was like, who in here is...
It's all in their clothes. It's all in their... It's in the clothing. It's potent.
It's very potent. And it's legal. And so people are like, well, what I do is what I do.
What I do is what I do.
Okay, so do you think eventually we will see restrictions like we do on alcohol? You got to, consume it in certain places, open containers are an issue, da-da-da-da-da.
Well, I mean, they have, each state has rules they put in place because like New Jersey and New York, we're starting to have the dispensaries and stuff. So they have rules. I haven't, watched the rules. I know something about they can't, like the candy, it can't look like something that would attract kids. They have rules about it. So each state has different rules. But I mean, the fact that there, the smoking part of it, that's been going on for a while. So like I said, there's not enough police, NYPD to go around and stop everybody that's doing it.
Right. Exactly. Carlos said it's in their pores.
It's very pungent.
It is. It really is.
I'm like, please get drunk. That
See, the thing is, we have edibles now, so I don't understand why they just won't
go eat it.
Right. It's the tactile part of smoking. Like it's just like regular smokers. They have trouble stopping smoking because of the way that they're smoking and they feel and the habit. So
right. And Mark says there are restrictions on smoking of any kind, how many feet away from buildings, etc.
Yeah.
There are restrictions on the amount that you have on you, etc. And that is true. So
right. And I have a little anecdote about that. In our building, there's not supposed to be any smoking, but there's smoking going on. So like I said, who's patrolling the hallways, sniffing at apartment doors, knocking on? We can't do that. So I have neighbors that smoke marijuana. I have neighbors that smoke cigarettes in the house. What am I supposed to do? Call the cops
and it's not. Then it's not like the smoke is going to go like, oh, I can't go through that vent and go into the hallways.
Public buildings, and we have a rule for it here. But I said, who's enforcing it?
Yeah, who's going to be
have enough people to get the murderers and the criminals?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to?
We don't have enough in the budget to pay to put more NYPD to go around in the apartment buildings and smell. Yeah. You can't do that. So, like I said, there are rules in place, but who's stopping them? And I can walk. I can go outside and walk to the corner, and there's somebody there smoking marijuana. And what am I? I'm not going to say a word.
No,
because I like to live. Okay, exactly. I don't know what that person has on them, or what. I am dropping my iPad today. Or what is going on with them today?
Yeah,
So
you're
Carlos
right.
said, "Okay, sorry for making you go on a tangent. Back to text."
I'm just dropping my iPad so many times.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
gosh! But
Yeah.
and they didn't think about a lot of the things when they legalized. They did not think through some of the repercussions. I was
Right.
like, y'all
And
should have sat
we
down.
went through this with remember prohibition. You could not. There was a time in America there was you could not have alcohol or liquor, and
Alcohol.
then they figured out how to make money off of that. I mean, the government, and here we are. So
Yep. And then they had dry states and wet states.
right.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Mark has
now,
a couple more comments.
Mark said, I had a neighbor sniffing the halls once that knocked on my door and asked if I was smoking pot. Laugh out loud. For the record, I don't like the skunk smell, and edibles are my friend.
Yeah, I don't like the smell too, and you're right. You can't do a neighbor can't do that. You can't sniff the halls
and some people you may not want to knock on their door asking a question.
Okay. It's okay. I would not recommend it.
I'm staying safe in my domicile, doing what I want to do in my domicile.
Exactly. Get yourself.
But it's not, okay, my neighbors aren't smoking. It's not all the time, and I haven't actually, I'm thinking I haven't smelled it in like over a year or so. But they have done it, and I have a neighbor down the hall that smokes. She's an older lady, and she smokes, but I'm not. I'm not next to her. So.
This is America. I'm knocking doors.
Go ahead. In New York,
you go ahead. Yeah, they might have a little something behind the door.
You gotta stop.
Yeah. So, and if it's a problem for you, you can get air filters. That filter.
The HEPA. Is it not HEPA?
HEPA. There are different filters.
Yeah, I have one of those. I got one from Amazon. It's a little, and it's It has a USB, and it could go into a power thing, and you replace the filters, and it doesn't make a lot of noise. It makes like a really light.
I have one that I got like a long time ago from Sharper Image, and it really does filter the air, and it makes it really fresh or whatever. So if you got some, you try to open your window and people are outside and you're like, come on now, really? What do you do when the people next door to you smoke in their backyard? The smoke is traveling over into your yard. You can't sit in your backyard because
that's like if you're in your backyard and the neighbor's is barbecuing.
So
I've seen stories where other neighbors have called the cops on the smoke is coming into my yard from their barbecue. What?
It's like, okay, people.
I can't. It's just you got to learn what you want to tolerate and live with. So.
Carlos said, I don't need to get high, violation of my lungs. And then Mark said in New York and Chicago, it may be the last door on which you knock.
Telling you you have to learn to mind your business.
California and Texas too.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere now.
Carlos said, I say I'm your friendly neighborhood drug dealer.
Wow.
I think TJ is up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm up.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me make sure I got my my notes. Oh, okay. I want to turn this little thing on. Okay. Is it on? There we go. Okay. Now, Carlos was saying about dropping iPad. Yes, I've dropped my iPad several times, and thank goodness it's okay. But I don't know why today I dropped it 2 times. I don't know. All right, so this week in social media news that we got a lot of stuff from the some people we haven't heard from. So I always like to start with Snapchat. So let me start with that.
Okay.
And I'm gonna scroll down through my notes because now, all right, okay, here we go. So Snapchat has rolled out new sounds feature to make it easier to create content. So they've announced that they have 2 new features for its sounds products, which allows users to add licensed song clips, excerpts from TV and movie shows, TV shows and movies, and their own original audio to their snaps and stories. So it's you can users can find relevant sounds to complement a lens. So the lens is that AR feature that when you get the dog ears, or you get a different face
Okay.
or whatever, that's your lens. So now when you're applying a lens to a photo or video, you can tap the sounds icon to access a list of relevant sounds to add to your snap. So this is rolling out globally on iOS and Android. So look for it in Snapchat. Snapchat is also rolling out a feature that lets users create a montage videos that are automatically in rhythm to the beat of audio tracks from the sounds libraries. Users can select between 4 and 20 photos slash videos from their camera roll. The feature is rolling out globally on iOS and coming to Android in March. So here's their little quote, explaining what they're doing. By expanding the sound experience, Snapchat is making it easier and faster for Snapchatters to discover and share the music they love with friends. Now, that was the head of music strategy at Snap. Snapchat has also created a unique opportunity for artists to reach a valuable and engaged audience while then also leading fans to listen to the full song on streaming services. So they launched Sounds in 2020. So I think this was connected to their Spotlight and also to their lens. So they're saying videos created with music from sounds of Snapchat have collectively resulted in over 2.7 billion videos created and over 183 billion views. So that
Wow.
is what Snapchat is up to.
Mark
Now,
has a comment about Snap.
go ahead, let's go.
Snapchat remains the app that I have had for years and have never used except to play with the lenses.
I'm glad you brought that up because Snapchat is 13 to 34 exclusively. They use it for public snaps and stories, but they mainly use it for private communication amongst a group of friends. They can share snaps privately, they can conversate privately, they can make calls privately, all of those things. So that is so they're saying that it's 75% of 13 to 34-year-olds in 20 countries and 80% of the US Gen Z population has watched the Snap original shows. So they're saying that Piper Sandler did a taking stock with teens survey, and we talked about this last year. So they're saying 34% of US teens rank Snapchat as their favorite social media platform. I expect that to change when they do it for this year. So it's ahead of TikTok, which was 29%, and Instagram was 25%. So I expect that to change. I just feel like TikTok is going to be top.
Number one.
And then Carolina, you know you say your grandchildren.
My 16-year-old uses Snapchat,
Mm-hmm.
but they all use TikTok, including the 9-year-old.
Right.
I mean, they're all
And see, they
adult.
use Snapchat for the private conversations. They can have private conversations, not public on Instagram or whatever, or TikTok. I mean, you could do private stuff on TikTok, but it just seems that Snapchat is more built for that
Or maybe
conversations
it's
in a
just
group.
that that's where they started and they're comfortable with it.
Right.
Because that's where their friends are. Their friends are not on Instagram, and when they're starting out, kids are starting out on Snap.
Right.
They're not
Because
doing
it's fun. There's the private factor. Like I said, you can have a group of friends, and you guys, within the private group, they share snaps with lenses, and they, they have conversation that's private. So that's where they feel most comfortable with. That's what I'm saying. If we're over 30, 34, 35, you're really not using it. But
although we have it.
Right. And also, if that's your generation that you have products and services as the business that that's your group, you want to be on there as an advertiser, not hey kids. No, you're not talking to the kids like that. You're running ads. Because when I say that, I think of the meme. There's a meme with Steve Buscemi where he's like dressed like a skateboarder, but he's obviously old, and he walks up to the kids in high school. Hey kids, what's going on? It's like, no, they don't. So you don't do that with Snapchat.
You don't want to be the creepy old. You don't want to be the creepy old person.
No, you're not the creepy. You're gonna run ads, and also you're gonna create lenses, especially if you're a local business.
Uh-huh.
The lenses, they come into play geographically when you're in that area. The lenses pop up if you've created one.
Okay.
So how that works is they take a snap with your lens, with your business, however you set it up, and they share it. So that's how it's word of mouth.
Oh, okay.
So that's what's going on. That's why we mention Snapchat, because I always hear Snapchat is dead. It's not. You're just not in the cool kid group. Not one of the cool kids. Because they're
Oh,
using it. And actually they're using it more in India. I think we talked about this last week or the week
yes.
before, that India, because India doesn't have TikTok. India banned TikTok, so they need something.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we should still be kind of thinking about that. If India banned TikTok, what do they know that we don't?
A lot. And Mark has a comment.
Mark said, "What are you insinuating?"
What? What am I saying? I'm in the same group. I'm in the same boat. I'm not one of them. I'm not in that group. I love Snapchat for the, they have the lenses and the filters. And you actually, here's a tip if you want to get, used to using Snapchat. Go in and use the camera, because you can take a picture, a snap with a lens or whatever the filters are in there, and you can save that to your camera roll, and you can post it where you really hang out, like on Facebook or Instagram, wherever you hang out.
And they had a Super Bowl ad on for Snap. I was like, okay, I didn't quite get it, but they were talking about I can be a horse and I can be a whatever and a whatever, and I was
a
like,
unicorn or whatever.
Again, that ad wasn't for us.
I was
Exactly.
like, okay,
which is why we didn't get it.
Right. If you're over 35, there's not a gatekeeper saying you can't use it. It's just that you'll be in a small, tiny minority. And I like Snapchat. I go in and I look at the lenses and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's this. And you can save those snaps. You can save those photos. And if you're hanging out, put it on your Facebook or your Instagram or Twitter or wherever you're going.
Okay.
And that gets you used to using the app.
Right. And Dr. Tachi said, I used to love Snapchat.
Yeah. But, this is the group that, they love it. So I'm really interested to see what the Piper Sandler Take a Thought with Teens. I think they do it every year. They survey. Because I'm always looking at surveys and data and stuff. So all right. So we're gonna move on to LinkedIn. LinkedIn has done a lot. Now, before I saw these stories, something made me go to LinkedIn this week. And I've been hanging out on LinkedIn a lot. And Dr. Tati could probably say, yeah, Terry, so you going over there liking my post? Because I haven't been there in months. It was just an afterthought. So I went in there on the desktop and I saw some new things that made me go, I might want to hang out on LinkedIn some more, because I made some posts. And then once, if you interact with somebody over there with their posts, LinkedIn will show you more of their posts.
Okay.
Also, there's an option, if you make a comment on someone's post, you can turn that comment into your own post. So you don't have to think of, what am I going to put on LinkedIn? You can take that comment, and because LinkedIn would say, oh, do you want to turn this into a post? I was like, yeah, sure. And I clicked it. And so I'm a little happy, what I discovered on LinkedIn. I'm thinking, oh, but now I see in the stories that those are updates for this week. So LinkedIn has added new visual display elements on user profiles, scheduling tools for newsletters, and also the little thing that I mentioned. So they are wanting to make user profiles more visually appealing. So there's more ways to integrate visual elements into your profile presentation, when your activity section can now display images, videos, and articles in a more aesthetic display, which means, it looks better. Profile visitors will able to view specific elements of your activity, which each shown in a more visually engaging format. So LinkedIn says, whether it's images, videos, newsletters, or documents, you get to choose the content type your activity section shows first. This new experience will be available to all members in the next few weeks, and we hope that as a result, your network will quickly find and engage with your content, leading to more professional connections and opportunities. So this is a part of like the rollout that they're doing now. So yeah, LinkedIn is trying. Yes, that's why I got really excited. I was like, oh, because when I interacted with somebody's post, I saw more of their other posts, which I wouldn't have done because usually I will go and look at their profile and say, well, what else did they post? A lot of people don't do that. You just look at what's there and you keep moving. But if you engage with somebody's post in some form or fashion, there's different ways, you will see more of their, it just shows up. LinkedIn says, oh, you like that? Here's more from Dr. Tachi. So I saw all of her stuff. And also remember, LinkedIn will show posts from like a week ago, like a week or two. I've seen posts from people that like this was last week. It'll say 1 week, 2 days. It'll tell you the time. So LinkedIn will show more of your older posts where places like Instagram won't. Instagram will show you like a day or two or maybe, and you'll see somebody's Instagram post. Like, after a few days after Valentine's Day, you can see somebody's Valentine's Day post because that's how Instagram algorithm works. But the LinkedIn one works much better to where if you posted something from last week, you can still get engagement on it because LinkedIn will push it. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it's a place that we may want to spend more time on. And I think I've said that before, but really now they're trying to get you to, interact with people's posts. And then it gives you a little boost as, it's your profile and you go, oh, I'm getting more interaction and engagement on something that I posted last week. So I encourage you to go, if you're on LinkedIn, go over, interact with it more. You'll see what I'm saying. If you're not on LinkedIn, get on LinkedIn because you just to have a profile. Okay, Mark is the comment. Oh, you want me to read it? Mark says LinkedIn remains the area where I am the most popular in readers, not in comments. See, but that's good. You're seeing better engagement on LinkedIn. And see, LinkedIn is trying to boost you. LinkedIn is trying to boost us when we come to the party, so to speak, and leave a comment or put a post up. I've heard people saying that they've done carousel posts, which is more than one, and the person has to swipe or tap. They're seeing more engagement with that. Carlos says starting to do lives on LinkedIn. Good. So that's the place where we might want to be hanging out instead of Snapchat. Snapchat is fun. I like it, but I'm not hanging out there every day. So now this week I was like, I'm gonna start looking at LinkedIn more. I'm gonna start doing that. So that's what they did, the update. So they also did a update for the newsletters. You have the capacity to schedule newsletters in the app. They're saying newsletters have seen big growth on LinkedIn. They reported that the newsletter creation in the app was up 10x year over year in 2022. So here's the quote from LinkedIn. We heard you loud and clear. You wanted the ability to schedule content on LinkedIn, and we're happy to share it's now possible. Last year, we introduced the option to schedule posts, and now we're extending that feature to your newsletters and articles as well. This means that you can plan your content in advance and share it at the best times to reach your audience. Well, like Dr. Taji said, LinkedIn is trying. Dr. Taji says, yes, carousel posts tend to do well. Yeah. People are seeing, I saw some people talking about it. So I was like, oh, okay. That's what's happening over here on LinkedIn. I just was ignoring it for a while.
Carlos has one other comment. He said is, I never use Snapchat, that it shouldn't exist. Okay.
Again, Snapchat is not for this age group. Snapchat is for, and it says 18. Was it 13 or 18? I said, but going by what Teralina said, like her teenager is using it.
13 to 34.
13. I thought I said 18. So 13 to 34. That's what I'm saying. Is you're Steve Buscemi. That meme, if you haven't seen it, go look it up. He's dressed up like a skateboarder and he's like 65 trying to talk the lingo, and they're like, no, dude, we see you. We see your face. You don't belong here. So all right, so one more for LinkedIn. LinkedIn adds the option to tag chats with a starred function. So this is another way to keep track of your messaging chats in the app. You can star chosen conversations. So if you have, again, If you haven't been over in LinkedIn, go over and check it out. When you have your inbox messages, they also changed it to where you can have a focus and an other. So focus is more like people you would talk to, versus the other, which is the the spam messages about, hey, I noticed that you're so and so and so, my business does. I'm like, I don't know you, why are you in my inbox? So you can move all that stuff to others. So now you can start your chat interactions in order to keep tabs on them within their own dedicated starred filter. So this is similar to Gmail and other email clients, make it easier to manage ongoing discussions. LinkedIn has been working to improve its messaging tools with new additions like Focus Inbox, which is what I was just telling you about. It adds a featured or other folder to separate your messages, your incoming messages in your inbox. So Snapchat is trying, like Dr. said, Snapchat is trying. I mean, LinkedIn is trying. Snapchat, LinkedIn is trying, and so let's go over there and see what they can do. All right, so that's LinkedIn, Snapchat. Let me make sure I got all my others.
Carlos had one other comment about Snapchat, talking about horrible porn stuff over there happens over there, and kids should not be there. And then I think there's a way to mitigate that stuff too. Everywhere you go, you should have to fix your feed, or fix your kids' feed or something, so that they're not exposed.
Right. And these are things, as a parent of a teenager, these are things that you need to talk to about your kid, about how responsibly are they using these apps. And I say, show me, what I want to see the settings. So you have to do that. Parents have to do that. They just can't give them a phone and say, here. That's like, well, you can't do that. So it's on the parent to be responsible enough to say, hey, teach your kid how to use these things responsibly. Otherwise, they're going to get attacked by different things and horrible, some bad actors and harassment things are coming their way. Okay. Spotify. That's what I was saying. See, things we haven't talked about in a while. Spotify's tested exclusive playlists for NFT owners. They have confirmed that they're testing a feature which will require owning an NFT, a non-fungible token, to unlock certain playlists. Now they use an example is a band called Kingship that they're using as a pilot to test this out. This experiment appears to be limited to Android users in certain countries. Spotify has not made a comment whether they're going to expand this or what they're going to do. It just was discovered and they made a response. So this is what's going on with that. But remember, there's talk about crypto and NFT. All that talk has cooled. Remember, what was it, like a year, 2 years ago? That was all on Clubhouse. And now it's all Chat GPT. It just, it's one of those things that blew up. And now it's like a balloon in the air.
It's no longer trending.
Right. So it's not, it was a trend then and now it's not. But NFTs, they don't discount them. The potential is there for something. We haven't arrived at it yet. It's not like the Chat GPT, which it's been out for, it was out for a while and then boom, it just, everybody just enamored with it. But NFTs, they have it's like a marathon thing. So look at and it's really all the blockchain is really what we should be looking at. The blockchain, which is the foundation and basis for all of these decentralized things that are happening. Okay, so but they are testing this NFT pilot. There's no more word from Spotify on whether they will continue or what's going to happen with it, but it's out there. Also, Spotify has launched DJ, a new feature offering personalized music with AI-powered commentary. So they have something called DJ to better personalize the music listening experience for their users. Is similar to a radio DJ. Spotify's DJ feature will deliver a curated session of music alongside AI-powered spoken commentary about the tracks and artists you like, using what Spotify said is a stunningly realistic voice. Now, I ran over to my Spotify because it's supposed to be for premium users. I didn't see anything there. Let me check it real quick. It's supposed to be under music,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't see it.
I saw that
So,
article. Mm-hmm.
right. So it's supposed to be, you have to be a premium user, meaning you're not the free version. Um they might be just testing it just different places, or it's not or they're rolling it out slowly. I don't know. But I was looking for it. So Spotify says this is for this is for Spotify to get to know users so well that the DJ can choose what to play for you when you hit the button. So Spotify says it's putting an AI DJ in your pocket. Now, did we ask for that?
No, because they don't have it down right now. When Spotify, what's that other one? Pandora and the rest of them. When I want an artist, I want the artist. I don't want the artist and people who sound like that genre. And
Right.
they always give me the genre and then maybe one or two little, okay, there's the artist, and then the next three songs are not the artist, and now I'm having to sift through. I was like, just give me the people that I asked for. Gosh.
So a little bit more. Spotify said it's provided its music editors, expert scriptwriters, data curators with access to OpenAI's generative AI tech in order to scale their insights about music, artists, and genres. The technology is being put to use to create culturally relevant, accurate pieces of commentary at scale. So as listeners engage with the new DJ feature, they'll be presented with a personalized stream of songs that will include both newer track and old favorites. The stream will be continually refreshed. As they listen, they'll also hit commentary. Okay, so yeah, we mentioned that. So they're saying that this is still in beta testing. It's only available in English for Spotify premium subscribers in the US, Canada. So again, there's no detail about how it's rolling out. I updated. I was looking for the thing. I don't have it. So I guess I'll just have to keep checking because I don't really use Spotify a lot every day. So now I have to remind myself to go and look, which is what they want. They want you to
Yes.
go in, you read, you see the ads, they make money. This is how they roll. Okay, so those are the ones we rarely hear from. Let's go back to our old favorites. Google. Podcasts are coming to YouTube Music. They plan to add podcasts in the near future. The head of podcasting said they had a summit this week. Excuse me. This will pit YouTube Music even more directly against Spotify. We just talked about. So they're trying to say, hey, instead of going to Spotify, you're over here already. Stay here. So the YouTube's head of podcasting said, if someone wants to watch a podcast, we have a solution. If someone wants to listen to a podcast only, we should have a great experience for that as well. Our focus is on creators. There's that word creators. YouTube Music will allow free ad-supported background listening to podcasts and offer enhanced library tools. There'll also be a podcast badge to designate audio first shows. Now, YouTube hit 80 million subscribers last year for its music and premium services. So that's a big number, but it's well below Spotify. Spotify has 200 million paid subscribers, and the regular YouTube has 2 billion users. So they're trying to get more people for YouTube Music. But they're not going to sign exclusive deals with podcasters. That's what they're not going to do the Joe Rogan where it's exclusively here. They just want to have the experience of listening to podcasts on video and audio. So if you're watching a podcast on video, you can switch to audio in the middle of an episode and listen on the go. Now, we talked about YouTube having a podcast page. So I think if you go to youtube.com, there is a tab or something that says podcast, and when you click it, you get, it's a categorization of the podcast people that are doing it, I guess by hashtag.
Mark has a comment. He says, can YouTube come up with some sort of AI technology where the ad breaks are in logical places? That is what drives me nuts.
Well, see, they're not going to do that because they want you to pay. So you get, and I agree, I'm there too. And I'm going to get that YouTube premium because I'm tired of these ads breaking in the middle of a sentence or a thought or, what they're sharing. But see, they're not going to, keeping you annoyed, keeping you comfortable, it doesn't drive you from the free to the paid. Getting little niggling, is that a word? Nagging, things to make you not comfortable and say, I want to, I don't like this. Let me go to the paid one. And YouTube goes, yeah, come on over and pay for the ad-free experience. So that's what's going on with YouTube. One more with YouTube, they're testing a podcast management options in the YouTube Studio section. So they have a test of the capacity to upload and manage podcasts in the YouTube Studio app. Here's their quote: "To make it easier for creators to distribute their podcasts on YouTube, we're running an experiment that allows you to create a podcast or set an existing playlist as a podcast within Studio." So, Studio is where you go to manage your YouTube channel. So they're saying those in the experiment will be able to upload a podcast within the create element of YouTube Studio. You'll also be able to view all of your podcasts in the content menu under a new podcast tab, and there'll also be analytics section just for your podcast. It'll have podcast specific performance insights, so you'll be able to see how well your podcasts are doing within the analytics. One more from YouTube. YouTube will let many more creators dub their videos in multiple languages. I thought this was a cool update. So you're going to be able to include multi-language audio tracks within your videos. So you'll be able to include multi-language dubs to make them accessible to broader audiences. If you click on the gear icon, you'll see an option for audio track. And if you click that, you'll see the different language options available. Videos will also default to a user's preferred language. That means that the person that's viewing it, if they set it to a different language, YouTube will automatically switch to that language. YouTube says in this early test, they've already seen over 3,500 multi-language videos uploaded in over 40 languages, and having this option sees increased watch time, which is what you want if you want to join the YouTube partner program. And they're saying 15% coming from views in the video non-primary language. Okay, so that's YouTube. They're doing a lot. Now, one more from Google, which is not YouTube. So Google Photos has an AI option called Magic Eraser. If you've seen the commercials for it, is the Google Pixel, I think. They had a commercial where people were taking pictures and they erased the people that photobombed and stuff.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Right. So now you don't have to have a Pixel. If you have Google One, you don't have that option. If you subscribe to Google One, and I do. So I went in there and looked, but I didn't see it yet. So Magic Eraser is coming to older Pixel phones and Google One, and this was this week. So Google One, here we go. Google One subscribers will receive a small handful of other editing tools, like new HDR video effects, exclusive collage styles, and more. So if you have Google One subscription, look out for that Magic Eraser, which is an AI tool that allows you to erase things from a photo. So you don't have to, I took a photo and there's somebody walking by or whatever, something you want to erase. So that option will be there. But you have to be a Google One subscriber. Okay. Another perk you get with Google One, you get free shipping with ordering photo prints from the online store in the US, Canada, UK, and the EU. All right, good for you, Google. Now, Twitter, not much going on. I really don't like to talk about Twitter because they're on the way down. Twitter shut off its internal Slack, and now everybody's barely working. They also, they didn't have access to Slack, so that's how, the team management tool that allows people to know what they're doing within a company. Also, Jira, Gira, it's a tool Twitter uses to track everything from progress on feature updates to regulatory compliance. Also stopped working. So, with no way to chat and no code to ship, most engineers took the day off, which, whatever amount of employees they have left, they took the day off on. That was Wednesday. Okay, so that's Twitter's doing their little thing. Again, Twitter
They're probably out applying for jobs.
Well, yeah, they took the day off. We don't know what they did. Maybe they are looking for jobs. Because remember, they're making them stay in the Twitter headquarters. I think Elon
They're
Musk
still on lockdown?
Bill.
They're still on lockdown?
Now, I'm not sure if it's still going on, but that was one of the stories. Remember, they had beds brought in and they ran out of toilet paper, all that stuff. Elon hasn't paid a lot of bills. They shut the Twitter API down. A lot of stuff. So, that's what's going on with that. And I just want to remind you, Muskie doesn't have to report anything that he's doing because it's privately owned company. But these are things that are getting out.
Got a comment from Mark.
Okay.
He says, which of the Twitter competitors will rise to the top enough to be included as an option for social media scheduling and sharing on other apps?
Well, there's not any real competition now. I mean, I'm liking Spoutable. They're the head of Spoutable, Christopher Boozy, said the app is coming in March. I feel like when he releases that app, that might be, there'll be more people moving from Twitter. But like I said, Twitter's a car. They filled up the tank and it's going. So when that tank of gas runs out, that's when, things we'll see the end. But there's still gas in the tank. Barely, but it's gas in the tank for Twitter. So TikTok, I'm gonna say that one for last. All right, Instagram. Let's talk about them because they did some things. Instagram did some things. Did you hear that they did some things? So Instagram they've announced the initial test of Meta verified paid verification on Facebook and Instagram. This has been a lot of talk. So they're launching a test of a paid verification program, just like Twitter Blue, where you have to get the blue check, you pay $8. Meta is doing that for Instagram and Facebook. So it will be a subscription service that offers additional verification, security, and customer service features for the price of $11.99 a month on the web, $14.99 on iOS, Apple. Let's stick it to Apple. Okay. It's currently being tested in Australia and New Zealand. So the process, users can sign up for the service, provide their government ID for screening, and then if approved, they will get a blue badge. And Meta will proactively monitor against fake accounts and provide direct customer support. So it's not just a blue check that they're paying for. They're getting the security features that Meta is saying that they're providing here. And I see some comments over there. I knew we would.
So the rest of us are just SOL if we're not certified?
So Dr. Tachi said this will be interesting. For some reason, I think more people will pay for the IG verification. And it's because people it's a pain in the behind to go back in there and share and prove that you are who you are and that these people have hacked your account.
Right.
And so people may, especially if they use Instagram and they have interaction, I can see where somebody would pay.
Right. So that you're established.
And you get customer service. You get to talk to a human
right
about your stuff.
Right.
Twitter is not doing that. You don't
No,
get to
Twitter's
talk to
not doing that. Now let me give you some quotes. So to help, Meta says, to help up and coming creators, there's that word again, grow their presence and build community faster, we'll begin testing a new offering called Meta Verified, a subscription bundle on Instagram and Facebook that includes a verified badge, which authenticates your account with government ID, proactive account protection, access to account support, and increased visibility and reach. So did you hear that last thing? Increase visit. They're going to boost your posts. We're starting with a gradual test in Australia and New Zealand, and later this week to learn what's more valuable. And we hope to bring Meta Verified to the rest of the world soon. So they're also going to boost your posts. So Dr. Tachi is right. People will buy this, especially on Instagram.
Right, because now I don't have to boost each one of my posts. I can.
They're gonna put you. You go to the front of the line. Does it Disney have some kind of thing where you buy this special pass or something? You get to go to the front of the line for every ride.
Disneyland and Disney World, you can get the pass where it shoots you up in the line.
You go to the front of the line. So this is what it is. You're going to go to the head of the line above everybody else who doesn't pay, who just I'm there, I'm posting, ha ha ha. So if you pay for this verification, your post will automatically go to the top of whatever list or pile for the algorithm.
And I think $12 a month may be a good thing, especially if you're consistently posting something.
So some more about this. So Zuckerberg posted, he said this new feature is about increasing authenticity and security across our services. It says that you will have that two of its most requested features are better access to verification and account support, while creators are always looking for more ways to increase their visibility. So they're saying that this is going to cover that. Now, a lot of people are dissatisfied with the decision. They voiced it online. One user tweeted, making users pay for account verification and security features is like a car manufacturer charging extra for seat belts and airbags. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook got to do better. Some other people said, how would Meta authenticate and store ID information, saying that these are further areas of security concern. Zuckerberg responded by saying verifying government IDs and providing direct access to customer support for millions or billions of people costs a significant amount of money. Subscription fees will cover this and will also pace how many people sign up, so we'll be able to ensure quality as we scale. So he says we'll be gradually rolling out access to Meta Verified on Facebook and Instagram and expect to reach 100% availability within the first 7 days of the rollout. And that was for Australia and New Zealand.
So also this gets people what they want, because if Facebook would have started out with a paid version, this probably would have been it.
Right.
And now you can, where people say, well, I would pay for Facebook, you now have an opportunity to do so.
Yeah. So is anybody going to pay for it? Instagram? It's not available yet, but when it comes.
It's definitely something to think about, because you can weigh that in between buying ads, which is not an easy thing to do.
Right.
That and buying the ad.
Mark has some comments.
Mark says if Zuckerberg would use the money for fact checkers and the elimination of lying propaganda, I would pay for it.
And see, my opinion on this is that it should be a different color.
Instead of the blue check. It should
be a blue check. It should be something else, because you're paying to say I'm verified where other people earn their verification. So they're saying it's the same thing as Twitter Blue. When Twitter let everybody and their mama have a blue check, everybody had it. So you're used to seeing the blue check thinking it's a journalist, a celebrity, somebody of importance in politics or something like that. So now it's like you look at it and you're going, well, that person just paid, and they can say whatever they want. What if they're spreading misinformation hate speech, all the things that Twitter is supposed to be checking for, but doesn't. But they got a blue check, so Twitter gonna let them do what they're gonna do. So it should have been a different color to say, hey, these are not the original blue checkers. Same thing with Instagram. Anybody can have it. So, Dr. Tati has a comment.
Mark, they've been going.
Mark too.
Her and Mark been going.
Oh, they're talking.
I guess you don't know, Mark, if that is your fact.
I mean, that's my thought, that it should be a different color. Because if it's not about often being a celebrity or a journalist or a politician, it's just about, okay, you get support and you get your posts pushed to the front, then make it a different color.
Yeah,
maybe it is confusing.
It would definitely be confusing because I don't know if you're. Yeah.
Right. Because see, with Twitter, you have, when I see a blue check, I train myself to go to their profile, tap the icon, and it says this person paid for Twitter Blue, and I go, oh, they're not a real blue check. So now, if they don't do that on Instagram and Facebook, how are you going to know? Like, that's the deal. It should be a different color or a different shape.
A different something.
It could stay blue, but make it, if it's a circle, make it a square, but keep it blue. And put the little check on there. Problem solved. Then visually, because see, a lot of people online do not check for things. They take things at face value, at visual value, and go, this is a blue check. This is someone of authority, when it's somebody who paid and is probably there as a bot, a scammer, or whatever.
Right. And we don't
make
know.
it a different shape or a different color.
And that would help too, I think, because right now on Instagram, we get a lot of people who are following, and these people are, they bots.
Right. Dr. Tati, now she has a comment.
Dr. Tati says, I don't think paying for verification is that effective, frankly.
Right. Because see, Instagram is doing something different by giving you customer support and a boost on your post. Twitter Blue doesn't do that. Twitter Blue just gives you that check, and it doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't mean verification, like this is someone of authority that you can trust them at visual face value. That's gone with Twitter. Because anybody anybody that's into something, Proud Boys, MAGA, all those people have blue checks. What does that mean when they have a blue check and they're there for hate speech and all that? It means nothing. Just like Dr. Tati said, for verification, no. But for that boosting, I would try it for that. But I don't care about a blue check. I really don't.
If you don't know who you are, some people need the validation. I agree. I don't need the validation. I do want to have the security feature and
the customer support.
And the customer support, and you boosting my stuff.
Yes. Now that, I might investigate it for that, but for the verification of it, look, I'm a blue check, I'm somebody, I'm not for that. And if Meta had just did that, I would have said no, it's not worth it. And then I heard some commentary on some of my financial shows, like they didn't think that it was going to be $11.99. They said they should have been like $6.99 or something. It's a little high.
Right, because
So,
but they are also trying to get replacing the ad revenue.
I was going to say, you get that boost.
That's another part of it. Now, remember, Meta has lost a lot of ad revenue, and they, how many people they've let go? Like 10,000 or something, and they're getting ready to let more. That's all because of Apple. Because of Apple and their iOS changes, where Apple users can tell an app, do not track me. And that means for advertising purposes, for data. So Meta needs that information in order to, give people options when they're running ads. You can create an audience of this, that, and that, and that. And like, okay, yes. But now Meta can't serve up that data from Apple users. So it cut into their profits. Boom. So they're feeling it.
And that is why if you have an iOS device and you want to get the verification, it's going to cost you more money because they're charging a surcharge if you have an iOS device.
Right.
Which I think is like kind of crazy, but okay.
It is crazy. And you know what? I want to test it. I'm not going to keep it. But I just want to see, how are you going to boost me? What kind of support am I getting? What, I want to try that out.
Right.
But I'm not going to keep it.
Because it needs to work. It really needs to be some.
And that price point should have been lower. Like I forgot one of my shows said it should have been lower. It should have been he said it should have been like $6.99 or $5.99 or $4, something like that. $5, $4 within there, not $11, $12, $15. That's, but they're going to get people are going to pay for it. I've already seen conversations on Instagram. People are like, oh, I'm getting that. I'm paying for that. I was like, okay, I might want to test it out, but I'm not keeping it. So you might see my blue check and then next month it's gone. I'll try it, but I am not keeping it. For information purposes only.
We'll see, and TJ will try it out for us so that she can experience it and then let us.
I'm curious like that. I want to see. I want to go. Okay, give me. Let's get the frog, and I will do that. But I'm not keeping it. I can tell you that right now. I'm not keeping it. All right, so let's do a few more things. Let me wrap this up. So Instagram is also testing user location listings on Reels clips. For more transparency on real content, it will list the location of the profile that created the clip on the video itself. So you will see that information when you're looking at Reels. It says Instagram is providing this information because in rare cases, accounts may be misleading people about where they're based. There'll be a learn more CTA, takes you through the Instagram false information page that gives you more explanation about combating misinformation in the app. So that's what they're doing. So they're trying to have an extra level, which will highlight potential misinformation and flag it to IG, Instagram. Facebook is doing. Oh, okay. Yeah. So Meta's testing out a new option that encourages business users to highlight relevant products in chats. So remember last week we talked about the channels where you can set it up. Is like the Telegram private group conversation where you could have a one-to-many conversation. So what now Meta is saying that they're gonna let you business owners highlight your products in there, so make it easier to buy from the channel. It'll be a sell product prompt, and then you have to set up your product listing and have it set there. So Meta's trying to push monetization. They're trying to monetize messaging and enable businesses to tap into growth of private messaging in its apps.
That's if we can ever get into channels.
What's that?
That's if we can get into channels.
Yeah, once we get into it.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Meta is internally testing a Be Real like roll call feature in Messenger. So they are going to invite users to add a photo or video to a prompt to share what they're up to at the moment. Only people who add to the roll can see other responses. This is similar to Be Real, which invites users to take a front and back camera photo at a random time every day. So this Messenger new feature doesn't automatically ask users to post content. Users can choose to start a roll call thread in a group chat at any given time. So you can create a prompt that says, show me your lunch. Other people in the group chat can respond with images or videos of their lunch. That's the explanation that they're doing. So the prompt will have a time countdown. Once someone starts a roll call, a notification is sent to all the users in the group chat. After you submit an image or video, you can view everyone else's response. So this is a way for Meta sees this as a way for interaction within Messenger within a group chat. Okay, so this is supposed to be like Be Real, which I haven't heard any talk about lately. So, Dr. Tati says, of course, they're testing a Be Real type feature. They're calling it We Real.
Okay. Didn't they? What wasn't they working on Candid or something?
Yeah, that was for Instagram. This is for Messenger. This is Messenger, a group chat in Messenger.
They are totally muddying up everything.
So think about this channels. Then if you have a group, there's a group chat, and you can have if you're in a group, the admin can send a chat in Messenger. I've had some of those happen to me, and I muted it. So now within that, they can ask for a Be Real type of interaction within the group chat within Messenger. Does that make sense?
Okay. It's just they doing too much. I'm still trying to figure out Messenger for just messaging people and don't give me a whole bunch of other stuff in there. I just want to send a message to Dr. Tati or TJ. So I just want to send a message like a text. Can I just do that? I don't want to do a whole bunch of show me your lunch and okay. They're doing too much.
All right. So one more from TikTok real quick. Because you brought it up, was the Mercedes-Benz TikTok car is what I'm calling it. Mercedes-Benz E-Class is getting a giant touchscreen TikTok and a selfie camera within the next model that's coming in. The 2024 E-Class interior is going to have it. Selfie camera, built-in apps for TikTok and Zoom. I'm not sure if I want that in a car, but
okay.
How about the fact that it's a Mercedes? It's a higher end car.
I'm like, what is that?
Who is going to be driving? I know. Okay.
All right. So let me give you a little bit more. Mercedes has installed multiple safeguards to make sure the E-Class drivers won't be distracted by the passenger screen. Touch function is only activated if the sensors in the passenger seat detect an occupant. Otherwise, as a screen saver. The selfie camera tracks the driver's eye movements, taking into account how often and how long the driver looks over towards the passenger screen. The car can automatically dim the passenger screen to make it less distracting while driving. Those are some of the things.
No.
Yes, I agree, Carlos.
Carlos said, what a stupid thing to do.
You're in the car, you need to drive.
And I'm not even sure this appeals to people in that price bracket.
Well, it's a thing.
3 or 4, influencers, but
it's a thing. All right, and Carlos said this is for Mercedes Uber drivers. This is still dumb. Okay. All right, one more for TikTok. Canadian privacy regulators are launching a joint investigating into TikTok. This means Canada is joining the fray. And also Fran brought up about the European Union. They have banned TikTok on stat phones, and then TikTok got mad because they were like, why nobody told us?
Why should we tell you?
Right. So Canada is joining us with, okay, let's look at the, is do we need to ban TikTok? And then the EU is doing their ban on government phones like we're already doing here. So that's what's going on with TikTok.
And should they be surprised that y'all don't tell us nothing?
Right. Okay. And that's your week in social media news. It was a lot. I know. It's a lot. Much more, but that's what I was like, wait, let's put all that in there to this week. You got to know it.
Wow. Instagram is a whole adventure that you have to, the whole channels and verifications. And
now remember, the channels isn't available to everybody. Verification isn't available yet. It's coming. So
right. But I mean, but we still trying to get the regular stuff to work right.
Okay. I'm just overwhelmed by their constant changes.
I don't mind the changes too much if I can. I want to get the basics like posting. when you do posting, I think you can go into. It used to be where you can just go in from your phone and just post straight from there. You cannot
Exactly.
do that. You have to go into the business suite now to post or to schedule posts and stuff.
Right, the schedule.
Come on, guys.
You know what? Sometimes people can shoot themselves in the foot
Well,
by
remember what Instagram is trying to do. What is Instagram trying to do?
Get you to
They
pay
want
for
you.
ads.
just
They
to
want
pay.
Gen Z. They want Gen Z. They got a youth problem. They can't get Gen Z to stay and come. They're all on TikTok, and they have their ad revenue is down. So they're trying to do things to get more money into their account, into their coffers, and they're trying to stop kids from leaving. And matter of fact, I think I read an article that they were saying a lot of, say, teenagers who are coming in, like the 13 crowd, they're coming into, okay, I'm 13, let me get on the app. They're not going to Instagram, they're going straight to TikTok. That's another issue. They're not even looking at Instagram. They're going bloop. Instagram is for 40-year-olds in their mind.
And I'm telling you, TikTok has nothing over there. The information that is over there is just like, you can't trust it. Remember Damar Hamlin, the guy that had the heart attack on the field?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the doctors over there said, well, he's brain dead and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right. Now, speaking of that, there's one thing I left out. Gen Z, it just came out with Morning Consult. I follow them. They have a newsletter. They did a poll. 14% of Gen Z said they start researching major news event on TikTok. They don't go to Google. They go to TikTok. 14%.
I saw that. Okay. Yep. This is their source of information. And if it's controlled by a foreign country, what better way to get into the heart of your citizens than
to put out some crazy crap that's
right.
Not true.
We have and then put into that,
share it.
And add to that ChatGPT. We're getting into an area where misinformation and disinformation is going to be a big thing. It's going to grow. Because people can go to ChatGPT and other things and they're just using it as is, which they're not supposed to. They're not fact checking. They're not this. They're not that. And saying, "Oh, ChatGPT gave it to me," or "Bing gave it to me. I'm just going to use it as is." But they're not supposed to. They're supposed to fact check, and then they're sharing that on TikTok or wherever they are. And we're getting into that area of misinformation and disinformation is going to get bigger.
Right.
It's a worry. People are already talking about it. So I don't know how we're going to fix that issue, because now Gen Z goes to TikTok instead of going to, I go like I said, the G app, the G icon on my phone. That's the first place I go. Bloop. They're not doing that. They're going to the T. They're going to TikTok and taking whatever said there at face value.
And it is so wrong. You'll be like, oh, you'll be messed up trying to do. Oh, I'm gonna do that. I saw it on TikTok. Oh, do not follow whatever you.
It's a world. There needs to be some regulation. Mark says, and then they keep changing the posting format in Meta Business Suite. I always had an image accompanying my main image that said, "Click on the link above." Suddenly, the text link is now below. I agree with you. They're always changing things in Meta Business Suite. Always. And they need to get it together.
They do. Well, thank you, TJ. This was good information.
You're welcome.
I gotta go.
I know it was a lot, but I was like, okay, we need to talk about this week.
Wow.
We need to wrap up.
Right.
Ooh, clicked the wrong thing. Oh, I didn't know we had that.
I feel like I'm on CNN.
I didn't know we had that 3. Wow.
We can do that because we've always had that. We just never.
Yeah, I know. I just clicked on it by mistake and went, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." Also, StreamYard has the you can make a clip for YouTube Shorts. Did you see that?
Oh,
I saw
no.
they're adding some stuff. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, let me take a look.
And the other thing that I like is they have dark mode now on StreamYard.
This is good. Changes are coming.
Yes, changes are, and then some people I understand have collab on StreamYard where you can collaborate with other creators and
Yeah.
then expand your discovery. I was like, okay, let's keep doing this. This was good. This has
Right.
been
Is Dr. Tachi in the house?
Dr. Tachi is still, I believe she's still in, she's on YouTube.
She's still in New York.
Yes.
All right.
Upstate.
Right.
Upper, but upstate.
Mark says it's the new truth.
Neutral.
Here we go, Mark.
I'm going to.
Don't you just love StreamYard? I mean, it's great. It's a good platform.
I think
all
we should
these
love
other
it.
platforms we've been on.
This one has been stable. Yeah, this one has been stable. I guess I can move over. Yeah, it's stable and it works.
Yeah, we love it. They've got music in here. We forget to use the music. How you do it?
Yes, but this is real good. And so we just want to thank everybody listening over on the Clubhouse. Got Tony over here listening in. And I still got to figure out that whole house thing with, yeah, I got to go spend some time over there in Clubhouse and figure out what the house does. And there's a lounge and some other stuff. And I'm like, okay. So we'll get that together and bring you some information on that. Today is Friday, and every Friday we're having Tech Life Weekly. And we just want to say thank you for tuning in from wherever you're tuning in. You could have been anywhere else on the planet, but you're here with us, and we want to say thank you. TJ will be back on Tuesday talking to us about digital marketing and social media. Then we got a whole thing going on. Monday, we're talking coffee, tea, thoughts, conversations. Wednesday, money mindset. Thursday, we're talking happy, healthy habits. Everything you need to take the hassle out of your hustle and to build a profitable business that's fun to run. So become a part of the BizChicks community. Go to bizchicks.net. Or either you can text biz, B-I-Z, to 33777 and become a part of the BizChicks community. We want to spread the word about you and what you do. And that's all I have for today. Terry, TJ. Oh, and follow TJ.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yes, follow TJ at terryjohnsononline.com. /info. And if you get her Discord, you'll get everything that is popping in social media. You'll have first awareness, the first drop of whatever's happening in social media. Just follow her over there on her Discord.
Yep, follow me over there. Or TJ Terry Johnson Online, whatever favorite platform you have.
Yep.
Reach out to me. I will talk to you and answer your questions or whatever you have to say, whatever comment or anything.
Right. Follow one another. We got Dr. Tachi in the house. We got Mark Ward, Carlos Phoenix. Carlos he's actually doing a podcast over on YouTube, and it's called Garage Net Show. And it's actually really good. He's got some producers from Disney and things of that nature. I was like, oh, I found out about Moon Girl and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, which is the first Black superhero for over on it's a Marvel show. And Carlos is interviewing the guy who put it together. I was like, oh, very nice. Very good. We got Mark Ward, who's Ask Mark Ward. You may see him on a street corner near you with a sign that says $5. Go ask Mark Ward a question, get some answers.
So thank you so much for your time. We'll see you here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 o'clock Central Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day. Bye-bye,
We'll see you next week.
Let me get there.